You know, I realize that Donald Trump has been terrified to do any real interviews recently, and it's funny because that used to be his attack on Vice President Kamala Harris. But lately, Donald Trump keeps canceling interviews like the 60 Minutes interview, and he's hiding deeper and deeper in his safe spaces. And so last night, he went on Newsmax and delivered what was an interview I could only be described as maybe psycho is the word I will use for this. It was utterly deranged. I want to break it down for you. My name is Brett Meiselas, here with the MeidasTouch Network. Remember to hit subscribe. Help us get to 3.5 million subscribers. And if you haven't yet, hit the like button. Let's go through some of this. I think it's important that we see what he's telling his cult followers on these networks. We'll start here where Donald Trump claims that if we had honest voting, he thinks he would win California. Just utterly delusional. Watch this.
Internal polling shows you +3 in Wisconsin, which, as I see it, is one of the toughest swing states for you to win. You've got a rally in California this weekend, as I understand it. Just your final thoughts.
Well, I heard about that. Wisconsin, they say, is tough, but I won it one time, and I think I did even better the second time. We didn't get the decision, but I will tell you, I think I did a lot better. A lot of bad things happened. I'm going to California. We have a really big one coming up in California, and only because if we had honest voting, I believe I'd win California. I think I'd win a lot of states that we don't win. We have to straighten out our elections, and we have to straighten out a lot of things in our country, but we have to have borders and elections to start, and we have bad borders. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I would have built. And
I should note that with fewer than 30 days until Election Day, Donald Trump has actually scheduled a rally in the Coachella Valley in California. Seems like a bit of a waste of time, but you do you, Donald. Spend all your money in California and New York and New Jersey. Let's see how it works out for you. The host of the show brought up that Kamala Harris keeps saying she's going to make the rich pay their fair share. Donald Trump stepped in and said, no, you don't tax the rich. Watch this.
Blame always seems to go on her end to corporate price fixing and vilifying the corporations in this country, the companies in this country. When asked how she's going to pay for the agenda last night on 60 Minutes, she just keeps saying she's going to tax the rich. Even Bill Whitaker on 60 Minutes is saying, well, we live in the real world. How are you really going to do that?
Well, you don't tax the rich because the rich are going to look. The rich pay most of the tax in the country, first of all. You know, people hate to say it. They hate to hear it. But you take a certain very small percentage, and most of the tax is paid by the rich. But the problem that she has is she's going to the communist method. Take all incentive. And you know what the rich do and the corporations do? They leave the country and they go to another country that's more friendly from a tax standpoint and other standpoints, like a regulation standpoint. Her agenda will bring us in to a 1929 style depression, and it's guaranteed. She has no idea what.
Is that really a winning message for the working people of this country? I don't think so. Trump on Newsmax also claimed that many stock analysts are saying the only reason the stock market is up and reaching record levels is because of his polling, which is actually not very good. Watch this.
That this economy here in the United States is the hottest in the world. They say our inflation is lower than other countries. How do you respond to that as their position?
Well, it's so ridiculous. First of all, the economy is not good. The only thing good is the stock market. And it seems that every time I go up in the polls, that's where the stock market's going. You know, you have some of the top stock analysts saying that the reason the stock market's good is they think we're going to be elected. I'm going to be elected. And interestingly, we are leading very substantially in a lot of these polls. And, you know,
by now, I'm sure you've already seen legendary reporter Bob Woodward's reporting that Donald Trump has been in touch with Vladimir Putin at least 7 times since he left office. And in addition to that when we were short on testing during the height of the COVID pandemic, Trump had sent our COVID tests to Vladimir Putin so he could use them personally. Trump flat out denied Woodward's reporting on Newsmax. Watch this.
I do. I believe you.
Let me just ask you one more thing about the Woodward book, because they're going to their favorite subject, which is, of course, Russia. They're alleging that you have had several phone calls with Vladimir Putin over the last 3.5 years. Can I ask if that's true?
That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Look, I know Bob Woodward. You know, I'm suing him because he used tapes, and he sold the tapes. He didn't just sell the book. He sold the tapes. He's not allowed to do it. He even says in the tape that he's not allowed to do it. And he sold the tapes. And I just think he's a bad guy, so I thought I'd have fun with it. I think he's a very bad guy, but he's got a tremendous liability.
I got to say, who do we trust here, right? Legendary reporter Bob Woodward or legendary liar Donald Trump? I think we all know where we stand, and it hurts Donald Trump's case even more that he's basically flat out come out and said this multiple times over the past few months. Like, this was just recently in Juneau, Wisconsin, when he made a comment that Americans who don't support him are, quote, more dangerous than dictators like Putin. Watch.
The enemy from within, the crazy lunatics that we have, the fascists, the Marxists, the communists, the people that we have that are actually running the country, not her. She's not running it, and Biden's not running it either, and you all know that. Those people are more dangerous, the enemy from within, than Russia and China and other people.
Recently on Fox News, Trump said that he told Putin that it's a shame because we could have done lots of business together. Watch this.
Than me, but we were having a problem. You had Adam Shifty Schiff and all these bad people, including Hillary and others, coming up with this Russia hoax. And I told Putin, I said, it's a shame because we could have done a lot of business, the countries together, but with this whole fake thing that's going on, and he understood that. He said, it's a fake deal. He actually said to me, he said, it's tough to make a deal now. I said, you're right, it's tough. They created a fake narrative, this Russia hoax. It was a hoax. And we could have had a much different relationship with Russia.
Trump released the video a few months back saying that Putin putting soldiers on Ukraine's border showed that he is a, quote, good negotiator. Watch.
Never happened. Russia was not going to attack Ukraine. As soon as I got out, they started to form along the lines. And I thought that Putin maybe will. He's a good negotiator. I thought he was going to be doing that for negotiation purposes. Then all of a sudden they attacked. And I said, what's going on here?
Now, I want you to take notice of what Donald Trump said here back in February. He said that he talks to Putin a lot and says he gets along with him well. And I want you to notice the tense of what he said. I talk to Putin a lot. Not that I talked to Putin. I talk. Watch.
I talked to Putin a lot. I got along with him well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to say he's not beating the allegations here. This episode is brought to you by Hexclad. They've completely revolutionized the cookware industry with their hybrid technology. Their cookware gives you the convenience of nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and the durability to last a lifetime. Yes, literally, they come with a lifetime warranty. I thought my cooking game was good before. It's on a whole other level since I got my Hexclad. I've been using Hexclad's 6-piece set, which is the perfect starter bundle. Whether I'm searing a steak or making something delicate like a sauce, these pans handled it all with ease. Honestly, other pans would always give me some sort of issues, but everything I make with my Hexclad is perfect every time. The performance is unreal on any stovetop, and I never have to deal with food sticking or uneven cooking anymore. Plus, they look so sleek and elegant, perfect for when you're hosting and want to impress your guests. I always get comments on them anytime I'm hosting a dinner party. Even the great Gordon Ramsay uses Hexclad in his home and in his Michelin star restaurants. If it's good enough for Gordon, you know it's the real deal. Hexclad's patented laser-etched hexagonal steel ridges give your cooking that perfect sear while still being non-stick. And you could use metal utensils without worrying about scratching the pans. They're dishwasher safe, oven safe, up to 500 degrees, induction ready, and they even have stay cool handles so sauteing is a breeze. Hexclad's elegant design and durable construction make it the perfect choice for entertaining all year long. Impress your guests with beautifully prepared dishes that look as good as they taste. And for a limited time, only our listeners get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/Meidas. Support our show and check them out at hexclad.com/Meidas, M-E-I-D-A-S. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware. Elevate your cooking game to new heights with Hexclad. Then Donald Trump is basically encouraging Israel to bomb Iran's nuclear sites. Let's just also remind everybody that Donald Trump is the one that got us out of the Iran nuclear deal that President Obama had negotiated. Watch this.
Yeah. He actually said, don't go after their nuclear. Well, that's going to be the problem, their nuclear, because they're going to have nuclear soon, and it's going to be a much different world. We're not going to be able to do that. It's just the opposite of what he said. And I said that very strongly. I said, you must be kidding did he really say that? Because the question was put that he made that statement. It was just after he made it. And I said, it's just the opposite. Yeah. You have to go just the opposite with Joe. I call him Crooked Joe. I call him Sleepy Joe. But
Trump was asked about reporting from Bob Woodward's book, in which Woodward said that Biden had called Trump an, quote, effing a-hole. Here's what Trump had to say about that.
In this one, he portrays Biden as very angry. He says, Biden calls you a effing a-hole, calls Netanyahu a son of a bitch and a bad effing guy. And to me, it rings so true, because I think that's who Joe Biden really always was. And then they kind of just gave him this makeover into this friendly statesman for this presidency. But this is kind of how Biden always was, wasn't it? And what do you think of the phrasing that he uses?
Well, I think that Woodward's a real jerk, and I think he's sort of way over. I mean, I think he is. Last time I spoke to him, which was a long time ago, I think he's sort of out of it, to tell you the truth. I think he is really bad. But I do believe he probably said that about me. I would say that Biden probably did say that about me.
And things were not going much better with J.D. Vance. Vance was in Michigan, and behind stage, he was giving this interview, and he was asked once again about his view on the 2020 election. And once again, he gave a non-answer. Watch this.
What do you have to say to moderate Republicans who are disappointed with your stance on certifying the 2020 election results?
Yeah, well, what I'd say is that, first of all, the 2020 election is in the past.
Let's go back to Trump. Here's Trump saying that our military is bad, our generals are bad, and that they should all be fired. Watch this.
You know, why wouldn't they want to have a strong border? Why wouldn't they want to have good elections? Why wouldn't they want to have good schooling, so many different things? The military is bad. We have generals that do such a bad job, they never get fired. I mean, they should have been fired.
Trump then completely makes up that he got the Mexican government to give us their military free of charge. No idea what he's even talking about. Watch this.
Borders. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I would have built another 200 miles, far more than I said I was going to build, and it worked. And then I got the Mexican government to give us their military free of charge by doing certain things. It's free of charge. We had the best border in the history of our country 4 years ago, and now we have the worst border in the history of the world. No country has ever had a border like this.
Trump then continued to spread lies about Springfield, Ohio, the migrants there, and Aurora in Colorado. Remember, Aurora was like the original Springfield in terms of Donald Trump spreading lies and saying that migrants had invaded the whole community. He just continues to lie. And in this comment, I want you to notice when he says they're literally taking over cities and other cities and towns, even if they haven't arrived yet. So he's acknowledging that this isn't happening, but is also trying to say that it's happening. Watch this.
You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado, where the governor has no idea what to do. I mean, they're literally taking over cities, and other cities and towns, even if they haven't arrived yet, are just, I mean, they don't know what is going on. They are so scared.
Yeah. Trump then claimed that the legal Haitian immigrants in Ohio are actually illegal as far as he's concerned. Watch this.
To our people. I mean, look at Springfield, where 30,000 illegal immigrants are dropped, and they may have done it through a certain little trick, but they are illegal immigrants as far as I'm concerned. They're destroying the town. They're destroying the whole. They'll end up destroying the state. Yeah. We cannot let this happen. This is the worst president and vice president in the history of our country, and we cannot let them get away with this stuff. They're destroying our...
Trump is asked a question about hurricanes, and he rants about electric cars for some reason. Watch.
Says that you and Republicans are lying about FEMA siphoning their funds to send it to the migrant crisis that this administration has created. What's your answer to that?
Well, he's paid billions of dollars. He's giving money away to illegal aliens, as you would say, or illegal migrants. You can call whatever you want. The name is the same. The people that come into our country illegally, many of them are murderers. Many of them are drug dealers and gang members. The crime rates all over the world are going down because their criminals are being dumped into our country at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Yeah. It's an absolute outrage what they've done to our country at the border, and what they've done with respect to inflation and energy and stupid electric car mandates where everybody's going to have an electric car in a short period of time, and they don't want all electric cars. And by the way, electric cars are fine for a certain percentage of the market, but you have to have gasoline propelled cars. You have to have, I would say, hybrids are very good, and new things are coming out. Yeah. But it's just ridiculous. These people truly don't know what they're doing.
I'm just glad that people are speaking up against the blatant lies being spread by people like Trump and Vance and Fox. It's really despicable. And it's one thing to just kind of lie in general. That's bad enough, right? But during a crisis where people's lives are on the line, it is just reprehensible and it is just completely beyond the pale. Mitt Romney spoke out yesterday. He was at a conference and he was speaking about the disinformation not just being put out by the Russians and the Chinese, but by people like Donald Trump. He called Trump out directly about his lies about the FEMA aid. Watch Mitt Romney break it down.
They will make an heroic effort to try and do so. I actually don't think that's going to significantly impact the election, but the amount of disinformation is really extraordinary, although it's not just being put out by the Russians and the Chinese. I mean, former President Trump told us that the people in Springfield are eating dogs and cats, all right? I mean, he likewise said that FEMA money, our emergency money, instead of helping the people that have been hit by the hurricane, is being used to help illegals. I mean, he just makes it up. And so he is able to spew enough disinformation that the Chinese must be smiling.
So that's what Donald Trump was doing yesterday, speaking to his MAGA base on his propaganda networks, not reaching any new voters whatsoever, just spreading his same old grievances and lies and racism and hate and xenophobia. It's disgusting. It's psychotic, quite frankly. And I know you are all sick of it because I know I am very sick of it. But we got to be sharing this, right? We got to let people know what he is saying, what he is doing, and we're going to do that here at the MeidasTouch Network. We're not going to cover our eyes and close our ears to the reality. We're going to present you the unvarnished reality so that you can form your own opinions. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit subscribe, help us get to 3.5 million subscribers, and I'll see you in a bit.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.